Hey everyone, it's Kaycienikole, and I have my lovely demo here today, Erica. And today we're going to be going through kind of a spinal focus class, mostly into the lower back, and we're going to work some gentle releasing, but we're also going to work some core stabilizing. So hopefully we're feeling really good in our lower trunk area. We should only need 2 blocks today. We're going to try our best to use these and these only. And we're going to make it quick. So let's start off on our backs. You're going to come into a nice resting position here. And as you come down onto your back, you're going to separate your feet, maybe a little wider than your hips. And let's start by just letting the knees knock in and rest on one another. Now, you can adjust your feet however you need to, but I want to make sure that we start with that grounding point so the knees can connect. If there's a gap of space, walk the feet a little closer together. And as you fall into this internal rotation on the hips, you're going to feel a little bit of broadening into the lower back space, and we're going to focus on that. So let your arms fall into any comfortable positioning of your choosing. Work out your little fidgets throughout the body. And we're going to take just a couple deep breaths here to drop in a little bit more deeply. Exhale, let all of your breath out. Through the nose, take a slow breath in. Draw the breath through the belly, all the way up into your rib cage. Open up through your lungs, your upper back, your shoulders. Hold the breath here. And then open up your mouth and exhale, let it all the way out. One more time, slow breath in. Draw the breath low into the torso. Really think about that lower back. Open up into your rib cage, all the way up through the lungs as they open as much as possible, holding here. Open up your mouth and let it all the way out. Now just relax your breath, but let your breath drop lower into your diaphragm. So think those muscles underneath your lungs. Feel this melting open, more expansive through the breath, feeling the belly rise and feeling the belly fall through each breath that you take. Now from here, we're going to create a gentle separation between the knees by walking the feet a little wider. Just walk the feet a little wider until you feel a gentle spacing between the knees. If that's too much on your joints, you can walk the feet closer back together. Otherwise, allow that little gap of space. And now we're feeling a little more tension, a little more opening into the hips, a little deepening of that internal rotation. Let's just take a couple more breaths here. All right, let's open the arms out from the shoulders. And as the arms open out, walk the feet closer back towards each other until the knees can lift right over the feet. And separate the feet, maybe still just a little wider than your hips, and let your knees drop to the right side. Hello there. As the knees drop to the right, you're going to have this natural staggering of the legs, which is exactly what we want. This might be enough already, and if so, you can stay here. If you want a little bit more deepening, place your right foot on top of your left thigh and just use it as an anchor. Notice how it helps to kind of leverage that opening into the hip. Give yourself just a few more here. Let your eyes relax back into the sockets. Relax your jaw. One more breath. Okay, if the foot is on top, just go ahead and bring it back down, but keep your legs as they are from here. Left arm is going to reach up towards the ceiling. And as you reach up, you're going to start to roll up onto your right shoulder and then reach the left fingertips all the way out and down to the ground. Now, once the fingers touch the ground, you can walk them away from you at any angle. So maybe you continue to just walk the fingers out directly in front of you. Maybe the fingers walk slightly overhead, and just try to imagine you're rolling your chest towards the ground. And as the chest rolls down, we're going to counter stretch by taking the top leg and kicking out through the foot, however it feels comfortable, as though you're trying to open up the hip, but close the chest down, and feel that point where you're stretching in two opposite directions. And just feel into that spaciousness here. Let's take a couple more breaths. If you adjusted the top leg, walk the foot in a little bit, release some of that tension, walk the top arm back in until you can slowly roll your back onto the ground. Let your left arm fall out to the side. Take your time, there's no rush. Once you're back, roll the knees back up to center. And then we're going to let them rock over to the left side. Same setup here, starting here in this position. Stay as you are, or take your left foot, rest it on top of your right thigh, and just let it help to aid that internal rotation. Relax that space in your lower right side. Release the tension from your face. Slow, steady breath in and out of the nose, expanding through the belly and the lower back. Two more deep breaths here. Now with the foot, if it's on top, let's bring it back down to the ground. Right hand reaches up towards the ceiling. And then rock up onto your left shoulder, reaching the right hand all the way out and down. Now as you reach down, you can walk the fingers away, rolling your chest down, and play with the angles. And as the chest rolls down, start to kick out through your top leg, reaching out nice and long as though you're opening up. Feel that point, that center point, and then breathe deeply into that right side. One more deep breath. Okay. Slowly start to bring the top leg back in. Walk the top hand back in until you can roll your back to the ground. Right arm out to the side. No rush. And then once you're there, you can swivel the knees back through to center. Take a moment, maybe windshield wiper your knees side to side. And whenever it feels right for you, hug your knees to your chest. Use your arms to pull them in. Little gentle rocks. All right, we're going to do a little bit of core stabilizing, coming into a reclined tabletop position. So let's take the legs up with the bend into the knees. Try to get the knees to stack over the hip line as best as you can. And then flex into your ankles as well. So the most important part that we want to focus on today is our lower back. So begin to imagine tucking your tail until you feel your lower back flatten on the ground. Try not to peel your hips off the floor. Keep them grounded, but just enough to flatten the lower back, which will keep the front of the core nice and active here. So hold this. And then slowly begin to lower your right heel towards the ground while maintaining that same angle in the knee. So you're not straightening the leg, you're keeping the bend into the knee, keeping that lower back nice and flat. and then slowly bring it back up. Try not to rush. Navel stays pulling back towards the spine. Now, keep the angle of your left leg. Slowly lower the left heel. Keep your lower back flattened down. Belly button hugs in. Feel it hover. And then slowly bring it back up. We're going to do one more round on both sides. Slowly lowering down through the right heel. Feel that bit of a hover. And then bring it back up. And then left heel lowers. Find that hover point. And then bring it back up. Hug the knees into your chest. Rock a little bit here, side to side. Okay, one more for the core. Take your legs back up into that reclined tabletop position with your legs. And then this time, as we flatten the lower back down, same setup, you're going to take your hands to the tops of your thighs. Now, as the hands come to the thighs, you're going to try to press your thighs forward with your hands, but your thighs are equally going to press back into your hands to create tension and resistance. Keep your lower back flat. Notice how it wants to curl up. We're going to really strengthen those core muscles, supporting the spine, holding here. Keep the tension, keep breathing for 3. Try to find comfort here. 2, comfort within the discomfort. 1, and then relax. Hug the knees to the chest, sway side to side. Okay, you're going to roll yourself over into a fetal position, whichever side feels good. And then use your top hand, lean into it as you press yourself all the way up into a seated position, crossing your legs. Okay, so we're going to do a side body stretch here. Take your right fingertips, drop them down to your right side. Left hand's going to reach up high over your head. Lift your spine as tall as you can. And then walk your right fingertips away from you as you stretch the left arm up and overhead. Notice how you have a tendency to kink into your lower side body. Try to lengthen your spine away from the hip line as much as you can as you arc over. And then rotate your chest towards the ceiling. You can always bend your bottom elbow to go a little bit deeper. Feel it out for yourself here. One more breath. Inhale, slowly walk yourself back up. Left hand drops down to the side, and we'll switch. So as the left fingertips reach to the floor, down to your side, right hand reaches up tall. Take a deep breath in, lifting taller, and then exhale, walk your left fingertips away as you arc over. Once again, you can always bend the left elbow. Try not to create a hinge in your lower side, but create length and space. Rotate the heart up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breath. Inhale, slowly come all the way up and let both arms just drop down to your sides. Roll the shoulders forward and up. And then exhale, roll them back and down. Okay, go ahead and drop back onto your hands. And as you do, uncross your legs, take your feet to the ground, and kind of come up onto your fingertips here. So as you come up onto the fingertips, you're going to kind of bend your elbows and lean back a little bit, but lift up through your chest so your spine stays nice and tall. Feel your belly button pull back towards the spine. And then walk your feet and your knees together with your knees bent. And then just begin to lift your feet away from the ground as much as you can here. Feel your belly button hug up and in. Breath. Now from here, chest lifts up taller. Notice a tendency for your ribs to open up. See if you can knit your ribs in. Maybe one hand reaches forward. Maybe both hands reach forward. Your choice. Wherever you are, hold for 3, 2, 1. Lower the feet down to the ground. Lift yourself up. You can walk your feet forward, wrap your arms around the legs, and let yourself just kind of round over here. One more breath. Okay, we're going to finish off with one of my faves. So let's come back up and we're going to grab our blocks. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a little bit of it can be like a ramp or it can be kind of like a flat shelf. So we're going to have a block on their flattest surface and then another block. So basically what it's going to be doing is supporting our torso and our head. So we want to have our rib cage supported and we want to have our head supported. So you're going to find that proper support. The one that's going to support your head, you can keep it flat, which is going to make it probably a little more intense, which is okay if that feels all right for you. Or you can take the block up a little bit higher, however you need support within your body, find that support, okay? Now, what we're going to do is you're going to sit it behind you, or you're going to set it up right behind you so you can sit your butt right in front of your block. And then from here, you're going to slowly let your legs tip over to the left side. Okay, so you kind of rock up onto your left hip. You can even scoot your left hip a little closer to the block if you'd like. Okay, your legs are going to be in this staggered position. Now walk your hands over to either side of the blocks. Long spine on a breath in. And then on your exhale, you're going to walk your hands down the length of the blocks and lower your rib cage down onto that first block. And then the second block, we're going to start off by just lowering our left cheek down to the block, okay? If it's too low, you can lift it up higher. Maybe you bring it all the way down to level. Now, this is going to be kind of that first step, perfect to stay right here. If you do want a little bit more, you're going to look over your left shoulder and rest your right cheek to the block. And if you have blankets at home, you can also use blankets on top of these to create extra lift and support. Or if you have a bolster, you can use a bolster instead of the blocks. Wherever you are, give yourself about 5 slow breaths and let yourself just kind of melt into this shape. Let's take one more breath here. All right, you're going to take your hands to either side of the blocks. Your palms are down on the ground. Let your chin fall to your chest as you press to the hands, lifting your torso up, and then extend out through the neck. And then take your right hand, sweep it back behind you, and then gently swivel the knees back to center. Okay, now we can bring our hips back in front of the blocks, reposition yourself, and then let your knees drop to the right side. And then same thing, if you want to scoot your right hip a little bit closer to the block, and then you're going to take your hands, bring them around to frame to either side of your blocks once again. Okay, recognize the side might need a little bit of a different setting with your blocks. Long spine, and on your exhale, slowly lower down. Find that first block. Find the support that you need. Shift, adjust, whatever you need to here. And then you can start off by dropping your right cheek. That feels like you can go deeper and your body's inviting you to do so. Maybe drop your left cheek and rest into whatever position feels best for you. Slow your breath down here. About 5 more. One more breath. You're going to take your hands to either side of the blocks. Let your chin fall to your chest as you press your torso up. Extend out through the neck. Left arm sweeps back around. And then gently swivel your knees to center. Feel free to windshield wiper your legs, whatever feels best here. And then when you're ready, you're going to come into a nice cross-legged seated position. We'll close out here, spine up nice and tall. Join your hands together at heart center. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Open up the mouth and just let it out. Thanking your bodies for what they just did for you. And thank you for allowing me to be your guide. Much gratitude. Thank you, thank you. Open up your eyes whenever you are ready. All right, so my lower back is feeling really, really good and stable. Hopefully yours is too. And thank you for being my demo today.
Thank you.
Yay. Have a great one, y'all, and we'll be seeing you soon. Thank you, thank you.